Okay. Oh, thank you so much. Is it at your home or it looks like a bunker?
It's kind of a Brooklyn office bunker, yes.
Okay. Do you like my t-shirt?
Yes.
When did you make these t-shirts or this emblem?
Oh, my brother designed that a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my brother's an artist, and
And he made
we just came up with it for fun. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Still everybody can buy it on internet. It works also in Germany. So
Yeah, that's right. You can buy it anywhere. It's sort of the logo. My friend started a school's wheelchair basketball program, and he named it the Patrick Anderson wheelchair basketball program, and he uses the logo. So it's sort of been adopted as the logo for that,
cool.
Kids schools program, which is cool. Yeah.
But you wore the number 6 last weekend for the Toronto team.
I did. I'm a big Bo Hedges fan.
Yeah.
And I guess Tyler was a Pat Anderson fan because he was not wearing number 12. Yeah, we just put that team together for that tournament, which was really fun. But we had to take what we could get in terms of jerseys.
Yeah. Congratulations for the win.
Thanks. Yeah, it was good.
So let's start the interview. I'm really so honored that you took your time for me.
Oh, my pleasure. Sorry to keep you waiting here. We had daughter had a fever last night, so it kind of threw our day into a bit of a slow start, but it's all good now. Thanks for being patient. I appreciate it.
Thank you. So everybody wants to know, your wheelchair is now red. Is it because a girl once said yellow is the biggest nightmare? Do you remember? It was.
Oh, yeah, neon yellow. Who was that? Did Cindy say that?
No, it was Gian, who won the RGK challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's right. No, she wanted pink. Did she want not that dirty pink, but like a real pink? I think that's.
Yeah. And now she got, I think, like turkey or blue.
Oh, I haven't seen it actually. Yeah, well, it can go two ways. It could either be me coming back to the team because it's Team Canada colors, so being less of an individual, more of a team player, or it could be Ferrari red, which is sort of the other direction. The midlife crisis,
you
McLaren, Ferrari kind of red. So it could go either way depending on the day.
Okay, depending on the day. That's cool. So, and you're from Canada, but you're living in New York. Why did you choose New York?
New York chose me because I fell in love. And the woman I fell in love with, and I'm still in love with, was at grad school at NYU. So I started visiting, and then I started staying, and then I stayed.
Okay, so it's not because of Steve.
Steve came later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And but you played in many countries, like you studied in the USA and at the University of Illinois, and you played in Germany and in Australia and Turkey. So can you share some impressions of this time, and what kind of important experiences did you make?
Oh, well, that's a big question because that's sort of my whole career. I haven't really stayed in one place, for a variety of reasons. But I guess I'll start with the NWBA because, I grew up in this league. So, as a Canadian, I guess I've always felt not like immediate family. I don't feel like a brother and sister down here, but I do feel like a cousin, like a close cousin, Yeah. And yeah, so I played in that league from the time I was, 15 or something, off and on. And I don't know, I always liked, there's a thing about, the USA, they love basketball. There's a wide range from the very technical and high performance, like Steve Serial, like one of the best all around players ever. Other end of the spectrum, there's just absolute Showtime and playground basketball and New York playground basketball and kind of everything in between. And So there's that. Also, I really used to love the classification system in the US. They used to just play 1, 2s, and 3s and then have 12 points. And I just felt like it was a little bit simpler and spent a little less time worrying about half points, a little bit more time just playing basketball. So I kind of like the style of play that resulted from that and the sort of mentality that represents. So yeah, there's a lot I liked about the NWBA, and that was where I was inspired. As much as I was inspired by Canadian guys, is I came down back when the US, they won in '92. They had to give up their medal, but they were the best team in '88 and '92 when I was starting. And Dave Kiley and Trooper Johnson and all these sort of legends that I heard about, I suddenly got to play with. And so that's and once I started to be able to kind of hang with them a little bit, that's what really opened my eyes to the possibilities for my career. So the NWBA had a big influence on me growing up. I'm saying all this like, I guess the last thing I played in was the Canadian club, that was my launching pad and my real immediate family and my parents. But of course, just like in life, we skip over our parents' influence and take it for granted and go on. I'm doing the same thing here. Of course, I had an amazing experience just coming up in the Canadian program, Canadian sort of community, which was, very, Canada had never really finished higher than bronze at a major, and they got silver, I think, at Stoke Mandeville, but so never won. But it was very competitive. A lot of great players. Also, this, I grew up around able-bodied players, and I knew that the way we approached the game was a little bit different in that respect. But that just gave me more great athletes to play against as a young player, especially young guys, guys who were, like the quarterback of their high school team. And I got to play wheelchair basketball against them, and it's like, oh, these guys are great athletes and I'm doing okay. It sort of sunk in that it's like, maybe I'm a great athlete. Is it possible? Maybe I'm not just, a kid in a wheelchair. So anyway, Canada was great. US is great. Stop me or ask anything if you want or slow me down, but
but who asked you to go to Europe?
I guess at Worlds in 2002, Lars Christing from Jena, then from Lundell, he came and talked to me at Worlds. Talked to me, like gestured, because he didn't speak very good English. I didn't speak any German. It was like, come to Germany, make a little bit of money, play some basketball. Anyway, Lars, we already knew. I didn't know Lars, but I knew he was a character. And it was like, this guy, I don't know. He was just big personality, big mouth. But as I came to know, big heart too. I love Lars. One of my favorite people I've ever met in the game. And, at the time, Joey Johnson and I were already talking about teaming up and playing club together somewhere, because we played against each other for years in college and other places. And then we, in Australia, in the NWBA, but we, started playing together with Team Canada, obviously, and we wanted to get some reps together as teammates, kind of improve our chemistry, which was already pretty good, but we wanted to improve it more. Yeah. So we were talking anyway, and then so then I got in touch with them, and Nick Zeltinger was still playing then. So I thought maybe I was just going to come over, and he said, no, I'm retiring. I said, well, I know this other 4.5, you might like him. And so we showed up in Lundell for a bargain, I may add, because we wanted to play together, and that's what started that.
And then you stayed a little while in Germany, and
I played 3 seasons. I think Joey stayed for 9. But yeah, after, we won the league and Pokal and Champions League those 3 years, and it was tough and it was a lot of fun at the same time. But after 3 years, I wanted a new challenge. And also we won Worlds in 2006. I guess I had decided already to leave, but it was just I had one eye on Vancouver. I always wanted to live in Vancouver, and some of my good friends from the sport were out there, and I started playing in my little chair for the first time then, right after Worlds in 2006. So I just kind of wanted to explore just playing for fun kind of thing. The fun of Vancouver, the fun of the little chair. After we won Worlds, that was like, that's it. We've won Paralympics, we won Worlds. I kind of was in a place in my head where I just wanted to kind of play for fun and explore things that I've always wanted to try. So that's where I was at. But I did come back to Germany in 2010, I guess it was, to play for Cologne, which is I briefly thought in 2006 about going there, just because I was looking for, like I said, a challenge and something new, and it didn't happen at that time. But I met Sadat, and or I had met him, talked to him. And so a few years later, when the opportunity came up again, I decided to go for it. Work on that.
What happened before my
Deutsch.
time, before I
Yeah.
entered into this world? So
Yeah.
I only knew you like from some videos, and I just heard like, oh, Patrick Anderson retired and he comes back for the Worlds. And then I was at the Worlds 2018, and I saw you in Hamburg. I took a photo with you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Not my best work. So not my best work, but not the photo, the tournament.
Yeah, but it was really something big, because I knew you're I don't know if you like to hear that, but you're the legend, the ultimate legend of wheelchair basketball. Everybody told me, and that's the impression I had from all these videos I was watching. So it was nice to see you. Like there is someone who everybody looks up to, or wants to go to, like with skills and speed. And so I really enjoyed it.
Oh, well, thanks.
And I especially enjoyed it to see you at the Turkish league. So this was really a surprise you made, I think, for the whole wheelchair basketball community. Like, what? Patrick Anderson is joining Galatasaray.
Yeah, that came up rather suddenly, and it had something to do with the pandemic, because the Paralympics were coming up, and it was really hard to get games in Canada and the US, and they reached out, and that was that. Yeah. So it surprised me too a little bit.
Yeah, but that was the point when you recognized my Instagram, and I'm so honored to be followed by you. So this was really a big step forward for me too. So I really look back to this Galatasaray time in a super positive way, that it was changing my life too.
Oh, that's really cool. I mean, you make it so easy for us to share what's otherwise time consuming and hard, and a little bit hard to do, but also, for me to go pull clips of myself and share them with people, just, I don't know. Yeah, it just feels a little bit egotistical or something, because that's what the media does for athletes in able-bodied sports. You don't have to go around talking about yourself, but of course there are people that support us, and we have fans and whatnot who want to see what we're doing. And so, but people are live streaming, putting things out there, but in terms of like highlights and little things, that's just so rare. And so when you do it and tag us, it's such a service, and I hope that you get a lot of joy out of it, because it's certainly, or more out of it, because it certainly helps us out. So I think it's great for the sport community and all the fans and supporters out there. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So next question. Do you have some young athletes who you really enjoy to watch, and with who you maybe would like to play together? Canadian or not Canadian?
Better think of someone quick, or I'm gonna seem like a real jerk. Yeah, well, I mean, Steve's young to me, right? So I'm pretty old, so I'm still enjoying that.
You're younger than me.
Oh, well, you'd enjoy playing with Steve too. He makes old players look good. Yeah, I mean, for me, playing with him, playing with Nick Gonchin with the national team, like guys that are in their prime and who are amazing from the younger generation, has been one of the things that's kept me interested and kept me training to stay up kind of at that level. Try to anyway. Team Canada, there's a few young guys that one of the reasons I'm sticking around for a little bit longer is Colin Higgins and Lee Melimick and Vince. There's a lot of great players, the guys that we already know from Team Canada, but these guys have an opportunity to kind of go next level, and I kind of want to be around for that as that happens, and help put it all together with Team Canada. So as far as Team Canada is concerned, there's that. Internationally, I'm a little bit out of it. Like I see clips like your clips and I see some young faces and players that look like they can really play, but I don't really know who they are. Some of these places, playing over in Europe and Spain and the German league, what have you. So maybe I'll just have to come over there and see them for myself next season or something.
That would be great.
Um,
Do you know Dirk Passivan?
yeah,
He,
he's not a
he
young guy though.
he's not a young guy. He's older than me. So about 2 years or yeah,
Yeah.
2 years older than you. And he is the top scorer for 22 years in a row in Germany.
Yeah.
And 1 year he was not. He was in Italy, top scorer of the league.
Yeah.
So, but he is playing for a little small team in Germany, which his father raised when he was a kid. So he always stays in this Trier community, and he doesn't play like Euro Cup or Champions League. But yeah, he is always playing for the German national team, and he said he likes to play with you.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, for sure, really fun because he's a 4-5 and you're a 4-5, and
How many basketballs would we be playing with? Just the one basketball? Might not be enough.
yeah, maybe we need 2 baskets too.
No, I mean, we're not talking about young players anymore, obviously, but
Yeah.
Dirk, yeah, I think the ironic thing. Oh, let me just say this. Probably, I'm just gonna say this on the record. It's probably not gonna be broken. That record, 22 seasons in a row. Probably never. Probably never.
Number 1 too.
But the funny thing about that is he's an amazing passer.
Yeah.
I noticed that right away. Does he like to shoot? Yes. Is he good at it? Yes, very. But man, can he really pass? So I always did think it would be fun to play with him. And I like to pass. I'm not as good, a passer maybe, but I like to pass sometimes. So I think we could have
into the face of someone like Ben Fox in the Paralympics.
Yeah, I had one of those this weekend, except it was my own teammate. It wasn't quite that hard, but yeah, I get a little ambitious sometimes, but yeah, Dirk would be really fun to play with. But right now playing with Steve, I've been like aggressively trying to score the basketball this season. And Steve's been very generous to kind of take care of everything else. Steve Serial, of course. So playing with somebody who's really that unselfish, who like doesn't mind taking 8 shots in a game is kind of good for me right now. But I'm sure Dirk and I could have some fun too.
Yeah, maybe we really need some all-star games in the next couple of years or months.
Oh, I always thought that would be fun. Yeah. I guess a general way to answer that question about young players, because I do like talking about other players and I wish I had a chance to see more and more often, but got 3 young kids and sometimes I would like to watch more, if I can't be in Europe, kind of watch a bit more of the college here in the US, but I just don't really have the time. But I've always played well with shooters, like I am more of a playmate, even though
Yeah.
my teammates would find it funny that like you pass the ball, you like to pass the ball. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I am maybe by mentality, maybe it's because I went to Illinois and played for Frogley, but a little bit more of a Steve Serio type player than a Passivon's like a Kobe. He's just a scorer. He's just going to kill you with scoring. And that's his first instinct. And it's great. It's amazing to watch. But, I've always played well with catch and shoot type of shooters. So guys like, I don't know, like Greg Warburton is a great example.
Oh, yeah.
Of somebody I feel like could just like instantly have chemistry with, because he just always plays great in space. He's an amazing catch and shoot shooter, but then he can also put the ball on the floor and then make the next play. And so it's great, especially as a class 2.
Yeah.
Which is a great class for him. Let me just say, but I don't know. I don't know enough about classification to say more than that. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that's not exactly a surprise pick because he's MVP of Worlds and everyone knows who he is. But that kind of player who can off the first action, you draw help and give it to them and they can either knock down shots or make the next play. Like I've always had quick chemistry with players like that. How could you not have good chemistry with a guy like that? But or like something, like staying with GB,
Yeah.
Um, anyway, we'll move on. I don't want to give those guys a big head.
Yeah, I have some favorite GB players too, so I absolutely understand what you mean, like how they pass, how they interact in the team, how they play. It must be really fun for everybody who loves to pass.
Yeah, they got 5 guys that can kind of make either make a shot or make a play, and they can score in all kinds of different ways. They're not all necessarily shooters, but the cutting and slashing and transition. I mean, Terry would be fun. Just we're sort of the OGs, you know. We go back, yeah. That guy. Speaking of shooters, you know, so pretty sure I could click with Terry on the offensive end pretty well. So yeah, maybe someday.
Yeah, Terry once said that he will retire at 2032.
2032.
Yeah.
You sure he didn't mean 23? Just got his numbers mixed up.
32, he said. So.
Well, when you can shoot like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Steph Curry. People are like, Steph Curry could play these 50, right? Because, you know, he can move well enough. Terry can move well enough, but his game's never been about being the fastest guy.
And so you do too. So you have a few years coming up, maybe.
That's possible. The hard thing about playing into your 40s, suddenly you're like, I'm going to be halfway to 50 soon. And then what? You know?
I started playing wheelchair basketball with 40 and somehow it works. So I think it's fun for every level, every age.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. I was talking to guys this week. I talked to Ron Miner, who's an old Team Canada guy. I saw him this past weekend. He was playing in the 2nd division. He's 64. And, you know, he says he wants to change his chair setup, but he was saying he had shoulder problems and they've gotten better. And which is great to hear, you know, like wheels are efficient, you know, so if you take care of your body, and it is a great way to keep staying active as a person with a disability. So, and it's not as hard as your body as running up and down. Like I can imagine it'd be a lot harder to stay with able-bodied basketball or some able-bodied sports. So it does lend itself to kind of playing well into your twilight years.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'll play on some level for a while, but.
Oh, that's good to hear.
We'll see.
So another question. What was the reason to start Skill Saturdays with Pat? And do you edit all the clips on your own?
Yeah, I did all that on my own. I guess I was just, you know, I didn't have a cell phone until like 2017. I was like way in the dark ages and happy that way.
Yeah.
Then my wife was like, you do have a phone because you always use my phone. So get your own. So
okay.
When I came back to Team Canada, we get free phones and free phone plans from Bell Canada. So like, all right, so now I have this phone that someone just gave me. I guess I'll use it. So then I discovered Instagram, and I just sort of realized that like when I post things about basketball, people were interested, some people anyway. And then you know, while I'm still playing, while I can still do what I can do, I wanted to show people, you know, it's sort of as simple as that. I'm not a coach. I'm not a teacher. I don't think. Maybe I could learn that, but that's not necessarily so much what I'm trying to do. A little bit, if I'm trying to teach or coach anything, it's just like how I think about practicing, which is trying to push myself and trying to be creative and try things that are hard, a little bit harder than I'm comfortable with. I hope that kind of comes across more than anything, because I think that's the thing that has allowed me to not only keep like in some ways improving, or one of the things that helped me improve when I was young or get to the level I got to, helped me keep improving as I've got older, and helped me stay interested, discover new skills and new little parts of the game. And you can only really do that by practicing new skills or old skills in new ways, all that stuff. So that's really the main thing. And whenever I post about basketball, there's probably like some just little ego in there too, that I like when people say, "Oh, that looks cool." I'm like, it feels good. But I think on a deeper level, it's because I can't do this for much longer. So I might as well show while I can. And if people mimic it, either the exact skill or that mentality in the gym, then that would be great. I think it'd be great for them. And ultimately, you know, keep the sport growing.
Yeah. I think there are too less young people who have the idea to do all the skills you're showing there. So I think it's really cool to see and watch, like, oh, maybe I try this, or I want like to improve in this way. So I really like these videos.
Well, thanks. I mean, my first coach, Jeff Penner, he was that guy. He was just always tweaking things like, oh, that looks easy for you now, Pat. Now try it with your left hand. Now try it twice as fast. Try it twice as slow. You know, like he was always moving the target, which is really helpful in my skill development. And then when I was sort of little history aside, but when I was in my mids, I was a teenager. I went down to Whitewater, Wisconsin, where Frogley was coaching, and Troy Sachs was there, and Joey Johnson and Glassbrenner. And it was right when the fifth wheels came. It was right when the 4.5 started really strapping, because before that, not a lot of 4.5 strapped, but of course that led to tilting and hopping. And so over the summer, I would go in there, and it was like a laboratory, and these guys were all college age, 19, 20, 21. I was 16, 17. And I saw the stuff that they were doing and trying, especially Troy. Troy was sort of a next level kind of athlete, and he was just throwing his body all over the place, tilting, trying to like tilt up on his front casters and roll sideways down, just kind of trying stuff that was insane. But I picked up some of that too, because I'd already heard about Troy, and it's like, this is the guy that you're chasing, Australia, Troy. And so I was watching him in particular, and he did that too. He wasn't content to just sit there and shoot shots over people because he was tall. He wanted to do much more. Yeah. So that was influenced from a number of directions.
Whoa. All the guys I missed watching are knowing, because there's not a lot of content on internet from this age. So
it's too bad. I mean, I hope they've just sort of relaunched, in a sense, the NWBA Hall of Fame, and I just really hope that continues to grow, and the availability of old video, because there's just some legends and really unique types. And I'll just say this, maybe you're going to ask about the new chair, but I'm sitting low in a smaller chair, and a lot of that's inspired by, well, Gert-Jan van der Linden, who a lot of people know internationally, but Steve Welch, who a lot of people probably don't know internationally, who played for Dallas for many years. He's just like these little guys, little 4.5s or 4s, who could just do things in their chairs, like in a different way than Troy. Troy was a big guy, could tilt and hop. These guys they were like sports cars. I think they could carve their way up and down and through traffic, and they were just so entertaining. And so I'm just aspiring to be like 10% as entertaining as those guys. And it's really fun. And it turns out it can be competitive if you do it the right way. It's a lot of height. It's not good to be short. It's good to be tall, but it's good to be fast too in our sport. So I'm sort of playing with that balance, but the fact that you can't go on the internet and look up Stevie Welch highlights and find them is a shame, because they were unique and riveting, so hopefully that can change, because I'm sure the VHS videos are out there. It's just getting them online somewhere where people can find them.
Yeah. So if I find some, everybody will find it on my Instagram.
Maybe there is actually one clip it might have been the first YouTube clip I ever posted. If you go to my YouTube account, there's one of Steve Welch burning me and taking me to the basket and scoring. So that's the only clip I know of Steve Welch. So you're welcome for that. But someone else get out there and put some more Stevie on the internet, because the world needs it.
Yes. This would be really fun.
Yeah.
So finally, I would like to ask you if you have some messages for my subscribers and people who watch this video, like some greetings from New York.
Oh, yeah. Greetings from the bunker in Brooklyn. I don't know. I think in this right now in 2022, with everything that's gone on with the IPC and the IWBF, and people getting kicked out of the game like David Ng and George Bates and Cem from Turkey, and who knows what's going to happen with the women's players after. And now in Paris, they're going from 12 teams to 8 teams. And it just feels like a good time to just say, hey, we are the wheelchair basketball community. I love this community. I am proud of being a Paralympian, past and present and maybe future still, but our sport is not the Paralympics. It's not the same thing. And I think it's a tough challenge, but for us, we have the opportunity to have our own vision for what our sport should be, and we don't have to let anyone else tell us who should play and who shouldn't play and how. I know it's hard because the Paralympics is a great partner and a lot of funding happens because we're Paralympians, and so it's their party and they can invite who they want. And I understand all that, but at the same time, it seems like a moment for us as a sport to kind of just look around and recognize that like it's our sport and we can lead it in the direction we want to lead it in. If that's in step with the Paralympics, then great. If it's not, that's okay too. So that's on my mind a little bit lately. But yeah, other than that, just I really get excited when occasionally people tag me in videos and show me skills that they've been working on that I showed. And usually they're a lot younger than me. And I think that's awesome. I really am excited to see where the sport goes in the next 10, 20 years. So, I'm far away and I'm not that present, but yeah. And if you happen to have a team in Spain or Italy and you're looking for a 4 or 5 next year who's a little old, a little shorter than he used to be, but he's still pretty fast and he does like to pass occasionally, but likes to score too. No Dirk Passavan on the scoring end of things, but I'll just put that out there. It's possible that the family, we might try to go to Europe for a year before I'm done playing, just as a family experience. So maybe I'll just put that out into the universe and
cool.
And maybe this will be where people find out about that if they care.
Yeah, and I'd like to meet you in person again too. Like the last time was 2018, and I was just a little fan doing nothing on internet really. So I'm looking forward to meet you somewhere in Europe, maybe.
Yeah.
Or the Worlds in Dubai.
Worlds or Dubai? Are you going to be there?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, there are some people donating some coffees on my account, so I think I will go there. Yeah.
Oh, for funding, I got you.
Yeah.
Well, that would be great. Sport needs you there, so go get some, drink coffee, everybody. Lots. I don't know what that means. Does that mean like $5 or something?
Yeah, it's €3 a coffee.
Right.
Buy me a coffee. So I will have the link in my somewhere.
Show, whatever. Yeah.
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 Cool.
Well, I hope you can make it there. I hope we can make it there. We have to qualify in Brazil this summer. So I think it's 4 teams from our zone. So
it's a lot.
Can't assume we're going to be there. It is a lot, but there's our zone's not, there's some good teams in our zone. So
yeah.
We have to do that first.
Should be there because the Paralympics with 8 teams will be harder.
Yeah, that'll be a whole nother story. That'll be interesting.
Yeah. So
anyway,
thank you so much. Just a moment. Kei, kite. It's my son. He's an able-bodied 4'5", very small, but he likes to say hello. Hello.
Hey, konnichiwa. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you again.
Grüß dich. We met in Germany?
Yeah, and his cell phone icon for his messenger is the photo he took with you at this time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What do you like about wheelchair basketball? Why are you playing wheelchair basketball, man? You could do any sport. You got two feet.
Why do you like to play wheelchair basketball?
It's funny.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Me too. The same reason I play. See, it's simple.
Yeah, that's enough to play wheelchair basketball.
That's right. That's all you need.
Yeah. Right.
Well, nice to see you both again, and hopefully we'll see you down the road. If not in Europe or Dubai, then somewhere.
Yes, definitely. And maybe I will take, if I have the guitar on this moment when we meet, we should make some sessions.
Oh, that's a whole other conversation.
Because
but yeah.
I really love your music, Lay Wakes.
Oh, thanks for the plug.
Yes, I have downloaded it and I have the CD. I bought it in at a game in London.
Oh yeah, that's right. They had some
Yeah.
Mad Sad. Very cool. Well, hopefully there'll be more music in the coming years.
Yes, I hope so. I'm waiting
Yeah.
for it. So have a nice day.
Thanks. Same to you.
And thanks so much for the interview.
My pleasure. Thanks for everything you do. Keep
Thank
it up.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
See you, buddy.